dokie then. Yep, that's my way I start. Okay, welcome to part 2 of a new driver. What to expect your first year for your new drivers. Alright, so it's been a while since I did the part 1 there, the first one. And I've had a few nasty comments here and there, and that's fine. I can handle that. And the reason I want to do this part 2 is to explain part of why I said some of the things I said in part 1, and just to, you know, reassure some of you guys. Okay, so the reason I was talking about shitty wages, because I've had a few people ask me about the shitty wages, and one particular person, and I lost the comment, and I can't get on the laptop to show you, or to tell you who it was, said, what do you think shitty wages is? That's not exactly how he put it, but you know, basically what he was saying, and he explained it, is what may be shitty for one person may not be shitty for another, and this is really, really, really true. Okay, what I may consider shitty wages, the next guy may say, you know what, I can survive off that to get my experience. Whereas another guy would say, you know what, that's not even coming close to paying my bills, I can't do that. So, and he was completely right, and I'm sorry I don't know I have his name. It was a really good comment, and I'm glad he put it there, because it's true. What's good for one person isn't necessarily good for another. It's just like trucking companies out here. What one company's good for a driver, what they offer, may not be good for the next driver. Even though nothing's changed, what one person finds acceptable, another may not. So, and when I was saying about shitty wages, you know, 25 cents, you know, 27 cents, whatever, you know, I've got a lot of people, and I've heard from a lot of people, you know, their expectations were way too high. And it's not wrong to have high expectations, but you gotta get a reality check, okay, guys? You're coming into any business, whether it be the corporate world, whether it be the blue-collar world, as somebody, as a greenhorn, and I really hate to use that term, but as a greenhorn, if you expect to make what the CEO is making of the company, then, you know, just you go hide under a rock, because it's not going to happen. I mean, really, reality. Let's get with it here. You know, you got to start at the bottom. And yes, I know some of the wages in the trucking industry are a little low. But you guys got to remember, I've been in this business, I've been over the road, okay? I've been in the driving commercial vehicles for 30 years. I got my Class A license 25 years ago, and I worked locally. On heavy wreckers, you know, house moving, local deliveries, all kinds of local stuff before I went over the road. And ever since I've been over the road, I really love it. So, 18 years over the road, guys, and honestly, the wages really haven't gone up that much. You know, when you think about everything else and the inflation, etc., etc. When I started, I think I was getting 30 cents a mile. It's either 30 or 31 cents a mile. I know it wasn't below 30. Okay, and that's a pretty decent wage back then, you know, for trucking. But when you think about it, I mean, I'm getting 41 cents now, plus the extras, and that's only because I just restarted with Celadon. Once I've been here a little bit, I'll cap out at 45 cents, okay? But when you look at the time span that I've been doing this, and you know, the wage increase, it's really not that great. Now, I know some of you guys will say, oh, you shouldn't be working for that little. I get paid 50 cents, and I don't work for less than 48 cents or 45 cents. Well, you know what? You can get paid $1 a mile. But if you get no freaking miles, okay, it don't mean jack. A lot of these companies offer the higher percent just so that you guys will come with them, because they know they can't give you a high average in miles. So they're making up for it by paying you 50 cents or for you. I mean, JB Hunt was on that kick for the longest time, paying guys, starting guys off at 50 cents. Well, the guys were only averaging 1,800 to 2,000 miles a week, max. Some of them, from ones that I knew back then. And I got that information from JB Hunt drivers. So, yeah, there are some out there. There's exception every rule. There's guys out there that do way more miles than that. So, guys, please don't jump down my throat about, oh, I do more than that. Well, you know what? There's how many millions of truck drivers out here? So, the wage difference between them is huge. Okay, the miles difference between everyone is huge. You know, what's acceptable for a weekly average for me may be too low for someone else, or it may be really high compared to someone else. So there's a huge variance in this industry. So you guys have to find what's good for you. Okay, and the same goes with, you know, for starting wages. Okay, you got to remember, guys, you got to get that first year under your belt. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule. You may get lucky and find a company that's going to pay you 34 or 35 cents or whatever, a good, really good wage right off the bat. Holy Jesus, sun's cockeyed here. Anyway, they may pay you a really good wage right off the bat for whatever reason. Okay, but general rule of thumb is as a new driver, you're not going to get a high wage. Now, we've had an example this past week where one particular driver went out, got a job, and I don't know what the wage was. It's irrelevant for this story. Got a job with a company, was given the keys and put out in a truck, fresh out of driving school, okay? But no trainer, nothing, okay? Just thrown out in the truck. The man was ready to quit after 2 days, okay? His excuse was he couldn't sleep with trucks beside him that were running. He was having a hard time. And naturally, guys, it takes a couple weeks to adjust. The minimum, you know, a month even, it's going to take to adjust. But see, back in the day, that's how I learned. I was given a set of keys, say, here's your load, go pick it up. This is where we need it delivered, and this is the date we need it delivered at. Yes, I had local experience. Yes, I had already 12 years of commercial driving experience, all locally. So driving the truck wasn't the issue, but crossing the border, you know, going down into the States, because I am Canadian. I know it's a shocker for some of you who didn't know. So these are all things, guys, you've got to, anyway, back to the story. See, I told you, lost my mind. Okay, so he was ready to quit after 2 days. And I don't know if he has or hasn't. I was a little hard on him. I know a lot of the viewers on my Facebook page were a little hard on him. But naturally, because you know what, you can't quit after 2 days. You just got to rethink things and try a different approach. And that's why, you know, a lot of you guys are all gung-ho and want to cowboy up and get out there and get in that truck and drive the 1,000,000 miles and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Those days are gone, okay? You really need to go with the trainer. You need to be shown what life is like out here. And I know not all trainers are good, okay? So, when selecting your company, and you know you're going to go out with a trainer, whether it be for 3 weeks, a month, or whether it be for 6 months, I don't care. You need to talk to recruiting and find out and get in writing. Listen, if I get in this truck with it, because it's hard to live in a small space with 2 people, okay? Especially when you don't know each other. If I get into this truck with this trainer and we don't get along for whatever reason, personal conflict, whatever reason, we don't get along, can I get in with another trainer? If they say no, then you know what? That should be your first red flag. Okay? Most companies will be accommodating as long as you try. Now, if you're only going out with a trainer for 2-3 weeks and you want to switch trainers after a couple of days, you know, that's what my recommendation is. Just bite the bullet. Listen to what they're telling you. Just go along with it. Do your best. You know, stay calm. Just when they let you drive or make you drive the truck to the best that you can do. You know, follow their instructions, because really 2-3 weeks goes by like that out here, okay? And it really does. I know, because the past 18 years have gone by just like that. You know, it's hard to believe because my daughter's 18, she's turning 19 this year, and you know, it's just it went by like that. So so that's my advice, is, you know, just bite the bullet. And yes, the first year is going to be tough. You're not going to make super fabulous wages, but you go through that, like I said in the other video, you get through that 1 year and you can go looking elsewhere if you're not happy there, if they don't increase your pay to an appropriate level. Now guys, if they're paying you during training, and I'm just using an example, 25 cents a mile, 30 cents a mile, and after 1 year you think they're going to jump you up by 10 or 15 cents, give your head a shake, okay? Because it's not going to happen. Example, now you got to remember too, starting wages in Canada and starting wages in the US are totally different. Cost of living in the US is a lot lower than it is in Canada. So there is a big difference, okay? So this example is just for Canada, because I don't know in the US. So like Celadon, 1 year. 1 year's experience is all you need. And they start you at 39 cents a mile, okay? That is pretty decent. The average miles is pretty decent. I know there's going to be some guys out there and they work for Celadon, watch and make a comment, or used to work for Celadon and say, oh, I got crappy miles. Okay, that's a whole nother video, guys, okay? I've been here now 2 months. I'm right on my average of what I want to be. And again, that falls back on what's acceptable to one may not be acceptable to another, okay? And it all has to revolve around attitude, okay? If you've got a positive attitude, that carries through to everything else, okay? And I know I'm rambling, I'm going on, and I don't know if this has helped anyone understand the first video and what I've said back then, or just, you know, enlighten them a little bit more here. But, you know, just like any job, your first year, whether it be in the corporate world, whether it be at a factory job, whether you be working at the corner store, for God's sakes. You don't come in there and go straight to management. Okay, you're going to start off, you're going to have to mop the floors. You have to fill the drink machine. You have to go outside and empty the garbage. While the guy that's been there for a year gets to just stand behind the counter and tell you what to do. So, you know, I don't know how else to put it, guys. You got to keep your expectations down, okay? And if by chance you do get that awesome job right off the bat, all the better, okay? So I don't want to see any nasty comments below about how wrong I am, okay? Because I'm not wrong. It's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. And you guys are allowed to have your opinion. Now, you can disagree with me in some areas, and I don't have a problem with that. But guys, no cursing, please. Anyway, that's it for this little part 2 of what to expect your first year. I know it wasn't much. If you have questions, by all means ask them. I'm sure I've answered some of the questions in other videos. So guys, go back and look at my other videos. Your questions may be answered there, because I'm always talking. My whole channel is revolving around new drivers. So there's always something in here at some point trying to help you guys out. So that's it. That's all. We'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend.